there are a lot of people right now that are seeking to build the new systems for humanity, ones that are progressive, that tangibly create freedom and sustainability. What I love about this particular model is when I walk into the community, I speak to the leaders and I actually connect in with them. I hear their stories of how their life is outside of the business. It's a real thing where the style and the structure of the way that their business is created is actually set up so that you can actually get ahead and succeed.
It took me 15 months to have my first $25,000 month. And for someone like me who making $25,000 in a single year was a win as a full-time artist, having that happen in one single month really blew open so much to what was possible for me.
I had envisioned creating this life of freedom and liberation, and it took me down many different pathways and still found myself trading my time for money.
This offer was an offer that really made sense economically, financially, in terms of profit, as well in terms of purpose as a health coach and aligning with this particular product that is good for people and the planet.
It's not just about going out, getting that cash, making that bank. It's also about transforming the world. And
I had really no idea of what I was getting into other than that I needed to be here.
If you're a leader and you want to be more of a leader, this is going to bring out your leadership qualities.
that has helped me clear a lot of blockages that I had around money and success and stories that I was telling myself about my own self-worth.
Are coming together and really living in their fullest expression, being the permission slip for others to do the same and to create the life that they actually want to live.
It's actually helped me come out of a little bit of a depression that I was in. I had kind of exited social media for a while and wasn't doing very well. And it's given me more purpose, and I actually enjoy sharing my message.
I'm muted. Okay. See? Technical difficulties. Ha! You can do this with anything. Welcome. And congratulations for showing up and saying yes to yourself and the life that you want to create and live. I am here today with Kira, and I am super excited to dive right in so that we keep this as powerful and respectful of everybody's time as possible. So, what are we going to talk about for the heart-centered business model? We're going to cover how to leverage your social media, because you're already on here. Why not get paid for it? I mean, it's a no-brainer, really. And we do this by partnering with a high-ticket, high-profit offer. It's already proven to work and convert. And then we automate it, which is step 3. And this is what gives us back our time freedom so that we can go do all the things that we want to do and just live our life and get paid to be us instead of having to be the product billboard or showing up day in and day out, doing the same thing over and over again. So be sure to stick around because we do have some amazing bonuses that you will want to take action on at the very end. So, and you might be asking who we are, what we're doing here, why you should listen to what we're about to share. Well, for those of you who don't know me, I am Catherine Moody. I am a single mama of 2. I have been on the entrepreneurial journey for over 12 years now, wearing a lot of different hats. And I did so because from a very early age, I knew that my non-negotiable was when I had babies, I was going to stay home with them. Well, coming into motherhood, I quickly realized that I was also going to have to provide for them one way or another. So I had to find a way to do both because I wasn't going to show up to a 9-to-5. And I couldn't imagine, like, especially now, I could not imagine sitting in a 9-to-5. And I did the 9-to-5 before babies, and it was okay, but it was not a space that I thrive in. So I went into direct sales and low ticket MLMs because it was an industry that I knew worked because I had family members and friends who were really successful in it. However, the traditional models really did not fit me at all because I was having to post all the time or having to do in-person or online parties and taught to spam everyone and message everybody and their mom to post this or post this. And it was exhausting and I could not keep up with it because I mean I was semi-successful in a few of them, but it just wasn't me and it wasn't working for me and I couldn't figure out why at the time, but it like finally clicked after I learned about being on the spectrum and having ADHD. We cannot do things the same way that everybody else does them. And it's okay because there's a solution. And like the way that this business gets to be is so incredible because once I found this and I was probably scrolling social media just like you were when you found one of us. And this lady popped up in my feed talking about how she was getting paid to be her. I'm like, what? How? And I knew that I needed whatever she had, but I sat and I waited because I was like, no, I got too much on my plate. I can't, nope, can't think anything, can't do anything else. So I waited like almost a year to watch a masterclass like we're showing you now. And I kick myself most of the time because I waited so long. Because once I actually sat down and realized that I was in the same place, struggling with the same issues, and nothing had changed, I knew right away after watching that class that this was it. And ever since, like everything has changed for real. And I am able to spend more time actually present with my kids because all those other things that were taking up all my time meant, yes, I was physically with my kids, but I wasn't ever mentally or emotionally present with them because I had no capacity for that. And I wasn't taking care of myself as well as I should have been. And now I'm working out more regularly. I'm actually feeding myself a decent amount of food. I mean, there's still some days I struggle, but I'm working on that. It's that whole time blindness, hyper fixation thing. But I'm actually feeding and nourishing my body and I'm hydrating my body. And I'm actually excited to live life now. So I'm going to pass it over to Kira and let her share her story. And then we'll dive into how we actually do this.
Oh, thank you, Catherine. I love hearing your story, and every time I hear it, different pieces come out. So it's so much fun. I share a lot with Catherine, and I have a bit of a different background. I also came into my entrepreneurial journey because of motherhood. I was a young mom. I actually dropped out of college because I was pregnant at 19, and I had 3 in 3 years, bam, bam, bam. And so I never went back to college. And I knew I couldn't enter the workforce with all these babies because why would I go spend all of my time working for someone just to pay someone else to raise my kids? It just didn't make sense. So I've had a lot of businesses and I've been an entrepreneur for almost 30 years now. It's crazy. I started with a sewing business and then I became a yoga teacher, a massage therapist, a Qigong instructor. And I really love bringing these creative and spiritual gifts to the world. And yet, like Catherine, I was wearing all the hats. And I also, like Catherine, tried low ticket network marketing, although in my case, it was just never my thing. I would look at the numbers. I would look at how we have to set up this monthly auto ship and you have to buy so many products. And then I just never could see myself getting ahead that way. So I focused on making my own products with my healing gifts and poured all of my creative energy into these businesses. And I do feel like it was a great gift to my children. And yet, my efforts to be with my children included a lot of time of trying to figure out what to do with them so that I could run my business and do my thing. And so all of this time, my true dream was really to write my novel. And I never had any energy left for my true heart's passion to be manifested into this world. And so at the time that I came across the social media post, I had already poured tens of thousands of dollars into learning how to run a social media based coaching business. And I watched my coaching mentor essentially just pouring so much into her 7-figure business. And I realized that what I was creating for myself was a more than full-time job, that I was locking myself to my business. And I was really never going to create the time freedom that I really craved. And I also was going through a health crisis at the time. And when you're a healer and you're going through a healing crisis, it's very difficult to find the energy to pour into your clients. And so I was really looking for a different way to do business, a way in which the time that I pour into my business comes back to me when I'm in a healing crisis, or when I need to take time with my family, or when I need to go on my writing retreat. And all of the big dreams that I want to manifest into my life are truly possible here with what we're about to share with you. All of your big dreams. So I really, as we prepare to dive into this information, I really invite you to really allow yourself to believe that whatever is in your heart, whatever you have been dreaming of that doesn't quite seem possible because the gap is so big, you're not sure how to fill it, it really is possible. And this may just be exactly what you were looking for. I know for me, at that time, I saw this post that said, "Oh, this is the industry that has made more female millionaires than any other." And I was like, "Cool, go girl, do your thing." And I just like clicked like on it. And then she said, "Oh, well, what makes you want to watch this webinar?" And I said, I guess I'll watch the webinar. Why not? And then it was the thing that I could not unsee, because the beauty of this system really checked all of my boxes. It honors the fact that health is our true wealth, and prioritizing time with our loved ones is more important than making money. And yet it also allows me to build legacy wealth that I can lean into. And being a lifelong entrepreneur, I really didn't have a retirement plan. So having the possibility of a retirement plan, having the possibility to build legacy income that will continue to pay my children when I'm gone. As a mother, that is really on my heart, to know that no matter what happens, I will be able to care for my family. My mother is really important to me at this time as well. So recognizing that we as conscious entrepreneurs, I know if you landed here, it's because you want to do something that gives back. You aren't just here to make money. You're here to make a positive impact in the world. And so think of those things that are on your heart that maybe you haven't felt adequate to take care of. Like for me, it's my mother, my adult children, knowing that if they call on me, I can be there, even if it means flying across the world to be with them, knowing that my mom will be taken care of. And so, yeah, what a beautiful segue into this next section. Thank you for pulling that up, Catherine. Is the way you're currently creating an income going to pay you for the rest of your life, whether you're working or not? Or will the money stop coming in when you stop working? Ask yourself this. So is this my slide? We are doing this completely off the cuff, friends. So it's such a pleasure to be here with all of you, showing you that this is something anyone can do, and you don't have to be perfect. You just have to show up. And so you are already on social media. Remember, like Catherine said earlier, how you found us. You probably saw a post or an event, or maybe you clicked on an ad because you are looking for something new that will uplift you. And we here are leveraging social media, and we're doing it in a way that is attraction marketing. So not cold messaging, not blasting people with our products and services. We show up as our authentic selves, sharing the message that is in our heart, that soul message that we came here into this physical life to share. We are only reaching out to people who have already reached out to us, who have put their hand up saying, yes, I want to know more about this. And you might be saying, okay, I know social media influencing is a thing, but I'm not an influencer. I don't have a great following. I don't have a lot of influence in my life. But really, the reality is you don't need millions of followers. You just need to get really clear on your core values and be willing to share them. Be willing to share your passion and really do the inner work that creates that vibe that attracts your tribe. You get paid to be you when you have offers that work and convert on the back end. And that's what we have here, is a place where you don't have to figure this out. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to know how to do it, because we will teach you every step of the way, give you templates, fill in the blanks, done for you models, and even give you the offer so that you don't have to build it from scratch. It's really quite amazing what we have here. And Brooke W. March is one of my favorite inspirational mentors in this space. She, like us, is a mother, and she is an unschooling mom of 2. And she was working as a conscious parenting coach when she found this space, really burning herself out and struggling to make ends meet. And after being in this space for 4 years with almost a full year off, she created a wildly successful online business. And she just loves empowering others to see what is possible in the online space. She went from $57,000 in credit card debt and what she calls her motherhood slumber to lit up and living on purpose. And she really wants everyone to know what is possible when you make the decision to choose you, to choose your values over any other idea that you can somehow get ahead living someone else's dream, or building someone else's vision. You get to build your vision here.
Yeah, absolutely. Brooke is definitely one of the ones who sealed the deal for me after I heard her story, because I just knew, like, if she can do this unschooling her 2 kids, then I can do it unschooling my 2 kids. And one of the things that she loves to share when speaking about, like, her experience with this is that she came into this space not even knowing how to save a picture to her phone. She couldn't save any of the fancy graphics. She couldn't make any of the fancy graphics. And yet she has built this successful business, and she's learned the skills as she went, because we teach you everything you need to know. Like, if you know how to post on social media and show up on social media and talk to people on social media, well, you're halfway there and can do what we do, because we will show you the rest of the stuff. So Robert Kiyosaki is one of the greatest wealth mentors in the world. And he said that if he were to lose everything that he's built, he would partner with high ticket offers that were proven to work and convert. Remember how I talked earlier about needing something that's proven to work and convert? Because you see it time and time again, all these new startup businesses that talk about, getting in the ground floor opportunity, and there's always a ton of hype around it, which is great. But if you don't have something that's solidly proven to work and convert on the background, that stood the test of time, you're playing Risk, really, or Russian roulette with your money. And we need to be careful about where we're putting our eggs and which baskets we're putting them in, because you don't want to put them all in one basket. You really don't. I am a huge advocate for multiple income streams, but also having that one solid one that's going to stay. And we found that here, because if you look at those companies, they usually only last like a year or two, because it takes about 3 to 5 years on average to reach profit. And even still, it's more like 3 to 5 years to break even, and then 5 to 10 years to make profit. However, we have found a company that has something that everybody wants, needs, and should be using. And it has been around almost 50 years now. So can y'all guess, and put your guesses in the comments, what might everybody absolutely need? And it's something we've all been buying in some form or fashion most of our lives. Yeah. You probably guessed it. Water. Okay? Water. Everybody needs this. And most people should be drinking it, but they're not, because, well, let's be honest, tap water is kind of gross. And it's pretty common knowledge, all the chemical processes that it goes through to even get to your tap and be drinkable. But then you look at the pipes, and if you're at all squeamish, do not go look up the pipes, please. But if you have seen the pictures floating around, it's really gross to think that your water goes through that and then you're drinking it. And most people think, okay, well, I'll just get bottled water, right? So then you're buying bottled water constantly. And nobody ever talks about how that's sitting in plastic for who knows how long in hot warehouses and trucks. And a lot of times that water isn't that much better than your tap water, in all honesty. And you can also often find an ingredients list on that bottled water, which means they're adding who knows what, because let's be honest, they're not really forthcoming with what added minerals is or whatever they're putting in it nowadays. But there's a solution, and you can have it right at your kitchen sink, because this is a Japanese medical grade water ionizer. And it creates electrolyzed reduced water, which if you want to do your due diligence and do your own research, by all means, go for it on PubMed or Google Scholar. Look up ERW, electrolyzed reduced water. This is not just another filter, because it is actually structuring your water so that the molecules are actually perfectly easy for your body to absorb. Because if you've ever tried to force yourself to drink a bunch of water and then tried moving around and gotten that sloshy feeling in your belly, it's because your body's not actually absorbing any of the water that you're drinking, or maybe a little bit, but not what it should be. You don't get that feeling when you go chug a bunch of this Kangen water. At least I don't. I've never had that issue. And I've done it a few times out walking or before my workout. And my kids actually, it's kind of funny. One of them has this thing now where he says he needs energy. So he reaches for his glass of water or his bottle of water. That's because this really is like living electrolyzed water. And the byproduct of that is that it is alkalized, not alkaline, because alkaline is the chemical way of balancing pH, but alkalized, which is the natural occurring process that our body actually needs. Because when our body is in an acidic state, a lot of disease happens. So one of my favorite quotes that this company really stands for is, people aren't really sick, we're just dehydrated, because we're not properly hydrating our bodies at all. Because again, it cannot absorb a lot of the stuff that's in our water today. So another few amazing benefits for this is that this is an asset in your kitchen that lasts over 30 years. There's over 100 uses for you to create a low tox sanctuary in your home and be able to reduce so much waste and so many other products, because you can use it to clean. So you can get rid of all those toxic cleaners. You can, of course, drink it. So now you're not having to buy bottled water all the time and all the plastic that has. And so many more, like toner. And I use it for my plants, and they're all happier for it. Like, before, my friends were noticing how some of the plants here, they would all get the brown tips on them. I don't have that issue anymore, because they're perfectly hydrated with the water, because it's closest to rainwater, really. And like I said, something that's proven to stand the test of time, almost 50 years now. And we have a 500-year vision, which means the owner of this company has set his foundations up perfectly and has this vision to keep it around generation after generation after generation. He's already accounted for all the economic ups and downs too. So it's going to stick around. And like Kira was talking about earlier, and we're going to get into a little bit more in a minute, this is going to pay your future generations and set them up for life. And it's just a one-time investment. Like so many other businesses, like Kira and I have done, you have to pay month after month after month with either auto ships or membership fees or all these other things. This is a one-time investment, and you have this asset for life. And it's a global opportunity. So you can work this from anywhere. So you can move anywhere if you want. My mentor, she started in California. Then she moved to Costa Rica, which was when I found her. And she's been all over Bali and Sweden and a bunch of other places. back to California, and then she just moved to Paris. So, like, really, anywhere you can work this business, and there's no deranking ever. So there's no month-end hustle to just start over back at zero the next month. No, because nobody's got time for that or energy. So let's get into the money. Okay, that's what you're probably here for. You heard you could make money online, right? So you're here. If you knew you could make 100 a month or 100K a month, would it be worth it to invest 5 to 15K one time to earn that back over and over and over again, even if it took a few years as a guarantee? It's a no-brainer for me. And especially since you can do it with zero down, and with our fast track strategies, if you set yourself up right, you get 720 back right from just starting, which I don't know about you, but I haven't seen any other business model, and I've looked into a lot, that'll pay you 720 back just for getting started. It's like crazy. And I know, like, don't catch yourself out. Be like, yeah, well, that's great, but I don't have 15K laying around. I didn't have it. I did not have that money laying around. I'm a single mom, like, for real. But I found a way, because again, there are ways that you can get started without having to have that money up front. And we can help you through that process. You just have to take the next step and be willing to get resourceful and creative and call that money in and find a way to make it happen, because then you can get paid for life. So how do we do it this way? We have the quad. So this is the 2K8 water machines. So that's going to be your kitchen sink model with over 100 uses. And the reason why you get a loaner, or why you get the second one, is so you have a loaner, because then you have another way of building your business. Or you can gift it to a family member, and then they can have amazing water. And the way you can do this with a loaner, though, is you loan it out for a week or two. They actually drink the water and experience it for themselves. They're probably not going to want to give the machine back. And you're like, okay, well, no, you have to buy your own. Thanks. And you've made a sale that way. Then you get the Inespa shower system, because if you're drinking the right water, and our skin is our largest organ, you want to be bathing in the right water, right? Because I know for me, when I moved to this apartment and I started running the kids' bath water, I started noticing how every time I did that, the whole bathroom stunk like a pool house. It was that bad with chlorine. And I was like, I can't let my kids soak in that. That can't be good for us. Not even just being in the room with that smell, like. So that one was a no-brainer for me to get, at least the Inespa and K8. But then we've got turmeric products. Everybody knows by now, or should know by now, the benefits of turmeric. And we've got 3 amazing products that you can get with this. You can get soap, tea, or the supplements. And I've tried them all, and they're all amazing. So you can even mix and match. It's really a no-brainer to start this way. And the numbers for this are really what seals the deal. Not just having that for your family to create that low tox sanctuary, but to really set yourself up right in the business, because you can start earning faster and start earning more by building this way. So you get your Inespa from whoever invited you to watch this, and then you sell yourself the other 3 products. That's how you get your 720 commissions back. And the benefits of building this way is then you're going to duplicate by quads. Your first 5 sales is then basically your investment back. Just 5 sales. Think about how many sales in a typical traditional model you would have to make in order to reach that 13,500 back. I know for me and most of my endeavors, that would have been like hundreds of sales easily. And then you get 11 sales. Your first 11 sales, you're getting 36,000. 36,000 for just 11 people setting themselves up to have their own low tox sanctuaries, and then having this asset of a business that they can then duplicate. And then it just takes another 7 sales to make your first 100K. That's a total of 18. And you can make 100K with 18. It's like, oh my gosh, I still, looking at these numbers, it blows my mind that you can make that much. And it's super simple because we have so much leverage here and you don't have to do all the work yourself. So let's talk legacy, because we've been dropping hints this whole time. And this is what we're really here for. Building the long-term vision. And that is getting paid monthly for life. So you have these are what we consider our leadership ranks. 6A is the first step. And you get a bonus there. Then you got 6A2, you start earning like monthly and quarterly bonuses. But then once you get to 6A2-3, you get a $25,000 bonus. And you get paid $5,000 monthly for life, whether you decide to keep building the business or not. And that is also willable to your kids, who then don't necessarily have to work the business if they don't want to. Like I know a lot of other companies. Yeah, sure, you can will that to your kids, but then they have to keep it going month after month after month and put in the work to keep it running. Which is cool if they like that business and they actually enjoy those products and are really passionate about it. But if that's not their passion and their dream, then you just built all of that for nothing, really. But here, you start with that 5,000 monthly for life is really just the start. Okay. 5,000 monthly for life, that's great. You'd be set with bills and could live a decent life for the most part in most areas. But then it goes all the way up to 80,000 monthly for life at 6A2-8. And guess what? There are only 3 6A2-7s worldwide. So there's lots of room up at the top right now. And something that I haven't shared in a long time is the 8-point system that we have that sets us really apart from any of the other companies that I've done. So this 8-point system is think of 8 pieces of a pie. Okay, once somebody is eating all 8 pieces of that pie, nobody else can have any pie, right? So as you advance in these ranks, you start getting all 8 pieces of those pies, all 8 points. And this is how the people at the top aren't necessarily the people who are making all the money. So we can build wide and we can build deep, but at a certain point, our people start making more on those people than we did because they're eating all 8 pieces of the pie, which is epic. Because that means that you can come in here and you can start building and you could outbuild the person you came in with. It's totally doable. And then you can hit those legacy ranks and they could be wondering why they didn't jump on this and go all in, right? Show them up, right? Okay. But that is huge. Looking at those numbers and knowing that there's still lots of room for us to grow and for us to build our legacy, build our future. And like Kara was talking about earlier, really making our vision happen. And our dream life can be a reality. You just got to make the decision. All right, Kira, you want to take over or add anything to that?
So, in order to get your time and money back, you must be willing to invest both time and money to do so. Nothing changes if nothing changes. So, I like to say, there is no free pass, but there is a freedom path. And we are on it. Catherine and I are on the freedom path, and you are invited to join us. If you would like to put your time and money into something that really will give it back. There are so many things you can put your time and money into, but here we have automation, which, everything Catherine just shared, and there's like so much to learn about the water and the compensation plan and how it all works. And just know that you don't actually need to know all of that to get started, because what we have here that is so exciting is a platform and a community that not only teaches you step by step, but even helps you create that content, even gives you the templates. And we even have a sales team that takes the sales calls for you. So this slide is showing our automation in action. How do we actually make a sale here in this space? The first step is we create content or ads on social media. And so that's that story that you clicked on, that post that you read, that event that you marked yourself going. All of those are that first step that brings someone into your funnel. And you don't have to know what a funnel is to do this. All you have to do is be able to write something and hit post, follow a template, and then that post brings someone to a free masterclass, just like this one that you are here watching right now. And then we have the automated sales process. So after you watch this masterclass, you're going to be invited to book a discovery call to take that next step to really doing your due diligence and learning how this works and really knowing if it's the right fit for you. And then you invest in your future by purchasing your quad or your first machine. And then you launch your business with our step-by-step mentorship. And this community that we are a part of is here to support you every step of the way, from clicking on that post to launching your business. And it really is that simple. It isn't always easy, but it really is simple. And the level of support and the level of training that we have here, I think I mentioned earlier that I spent tens of thousands of dollars on online business coaching before I found this space. And what we have here is all that and more, because we don't just have the education, we have more education than usually comes in a $10,000 coaching program, between the Evergreen platform with all of the trainings and then the live mentorships and live masterminds that happen regularly throughout the year. But we have the sales team the sales team that is trained to handle the objections for you so that you can stay in your genius zone of creating and sharing your message and holding a sacred container for your community. And we have this coaching and continuous support. So when you bring someone into your business, it's not just up to you to train them. It's not just up to you to tell them how to do it. You can direct them right into the platform, just like you'll be directed to the platform to learn, and it's all there. The paperwork is done for you. The financing is laid out. The funnels are already built. And there is already graphics and copy templates that you can edit into your voice. And the tens of thousands of dollars you can see here on the list, that it adds up to well over $70,000. And this community really is priceless. This community really is a space where you can find your soul tribe and never have to do your business alone again. We're each building our own business. I have full ownership of my business. I get to decide every step of the way how I do it, what resonates, what feels right for me. And yet I have Catherine over here beside me, building her business beside me, and we can lean in to each other and lean into the greater support of the mentorship that is available to us here. And all of this is available to you with a really very low investment. If you maybe you haven't run multiple businesses like Catherine and I, but most businesses take a much greater investment than this one. And so you can get in, like Catherine was saying, for $0 down with a credit score of 650 or higher, and jump into that fast track quad strategy that she described and get paid. So the numbers that we have on the screen here, it's about, and these are rounded numbers. It depends, like taxes and shipping, depending on where you are. The trifecta, which would be 3 products, the K8, the Anespa, and the Ukon, or the quad, where you get that extra machine as a loaner, or sometimes people get an extra Anespa because they have 2 bathrooms and they don't want their kids to be bathing in chlorine while they have the nice shower in the master bedroom. And so when you invest 10 to 15,000, then you get 380 to 720 back right away, as soon, like Catherine said. This is what's really one of the things that's so amazing, is that they let you sell products to yourself. And so this business investment is really low. And if you don't have the 650 or higher credit score, there are many ways to get started, and you can get started with as little as $1,000 easily. And this business grows by 3s or 4s. Regardless of how you start, you're going to be making hundreds and thousands of dollars with every single sale that you make. So you don't need to make hundreds of sales to reach your monthly goal. You need to make a few sales to reach your monthly goal. And depending on what your goal is, it could be a couple sales to reach your monthly goal. That it really is that simple when you're dealing with high ticket, high profit offers. So what do you want to do? Make money fast or faster?
Absolutely. Let's make it faster, okay? Let's fast track everything.
Yeah, right?
Make it happen. So Christy Exord is one of our amazing founders of the platform that Kira was talking about. And she really paved the way for us to have what we have now. And 5 years ago, she was struggling as an entrepreneur. She had worn many different hats. Like we had Raw Food Cafe, very short time and low ticket, and a few others along the journey to finding this. And she was about to have a baby, and they were couch surfing and living out of her car. And it was at that point, like she had that line in the sand moment where she knew something had to change, and she was about to have her husband Clint get another job. But he was like, he had already been with an addict, he had the water machine already, but he didn't know really how he could run the business until that point when they met Balaj W. Cardos, who showed them the 3 steps that we're showing you now. And he told her, give me 90 days. And he did it. 90 days, and they had 100K. And the start of what we have here today. So now she gets to live this life of time, financial, and location freedom. And she's been able to do this all while raising her babies, because like it's a running joke in the community that she's had a baby on her boob the entire time she's been building this business. And she really is a stand for everybody is capable of creating this. It just comes down to you making the decision and taking action on that decision. So, ready for your next steps? I mean, like we've said, you got to reach back out to the person who invited you to watch this. Get the discovery process, get your call booked, make sure you have the discovery process finished, which in some cases it's just an hour long. And that's like super doable. But this process will really help you get clear on what you want your day to actually look like. What do you want your average day to look like? Do you know? Have you ever thought about that? Like, what do I actually want my life to look like? And let yourself dream about it. Like, really get into the nitty-gritty details of that. And then look at your life right now. How does it compare? How can we bridge that gap? Because we can. And that's what the call is for, is to answer any questions and get really clear on how we bridge that gap. So for those of you who are taking fast action, and get your call booked in the next 48 hours, we have an amazing call for you that will teach you how to make your first 100K. And this is from Christy and her husband Clint, and another multi 6 and 7 figure earner, who are going to show you just how this gets to duplicate and how simple it really is. Not necessarily easy, but simple, because you just follow these key steps that we've laid out for you. And we've got so much else that you can dive into after this. But really, really reach out now and listen to that little spark. Don't let all the loud noise clutter it, but listen to that spark. Because if you're watching this, I know there's one that's telling you, I need this. I need to change. Let's make it happen. Okay, reach out now and let us help you. We'll work through any of that noise and get you on the path to really making your dream life happen. In closing, your entire life really can change based on the decisions you make right now. Every once in a while, something comes along so powerful that it can change the trajectory of your life forever. And I know some of y'all might be thinking, well, yeah, that's too good to be true. It's whatever. That sounds fluffy or whatever, but it's true. It's changed mine forever. It's changed Kira's forever. It's changed Saber's, Christie's, Brooks, Eve's, and so many others that I could like names that I could pull up that have been changed because they said yes to diving in further and taking the next step. But how this plays out for you is completely dependent on your next moves because you have to take that action. And a question that I like to leave people with, and I want you to really think about this, you can even give your answer to whoever invited you. What's keeping you so loyal to a life that's keeping you so stuck? Because it's true. If you're not changing anything, if you're not actively making different choices to get out of the situation you're in right now, you're making the choice to stay loyal to that life. And that's okay if that's what you want to do. But we got to be radically honest about that. All right. Anything that you want to add to the final thoughts, Kira?
I would just say if you are on the fence, then also reach out to the person who invited you and ask your questions. You may be surprised by the answers. And really ask yourself, what brought me here? Because the fact that you landed here and you watched this entire transmission, allow yourself to receive it now. Take the time to integrate it, journal, and really invite yourself to believe that whatever brought you here was actual divine intervention leading you to the path that you're meant to be on. Trust that. All of the thoughts that come in after, all of the doubts and fears are here to test you. And you are capable of rising to the challenge. I believe in you. We are here to hold you through it.
Absolutely. All right. Looking forward to celebrating you all on the other side. Have a
Yes.
wonderful rest of your day.
No income, like I had no income, but I made a way out of no way to be able to invest.
I get to rewire the past of where I came from as someone who grew up with a single mom on welfare on government money, who suffered from addiction and passed away by the time she was 50, way too young because her life was fully unfulfilled. And for what I see for the new paradigm for creatives, for people who are ready to live a fully extended life, is it really doesn't have to come with sacrifice. Yes, there's a sacrifice as an entrepreneur. Yes, there's a sacrifice to create a dream life, but it doesn't have to sacrifice your true values.
I've spoken to so many really well-established entrepreneurs that are building the new systems, and I'm like, this one has been done in excellence. Any person that's got any context as an entrepreneur that understands business, numbers, money, community, building side-by-side collaboration, for me, this is not even a question if it's the right model or a good model.
The time of the lone wolf is over. This is truly what we came here for, is to remember our wealth flow.
To be able to eventually sit back into ease and accept and receive passive income.
And having such a strong business plan to just step into with lots of training and an incredible community of other like-minded individuals.
So many things can happen when you are around people that share your vision.
If you're watching this right now, envision your life. What would life be like if you really knew that money was not an issue? They say money doesn't buy happiness, but money allows you a life of choice. So what would life look like if you actually truly had choice?
There's a lot of new crypto things. There's this thing, and there's that thing, and it's compounding, and it's that. And there's so many things, and they're great. But the challenge is many of them come, and then a year later they're gone. This business got stronger as the economy's collapsed. And if you ask me, being a business person that cares about my family, longevity, and legacy wealth, you don't want betting on things that you're not 100% able to stand behind.
You get to be, do, and have it all, and you get to empower yourself to empower the world, because your life is yours.
If you are at all on the fence about becoming part of this community, becoming part of this offer, I highly encourage you to find out more and listen to that spark in your heart and your soul that says yes.